Good afternoon. Friday, April the 11th, 2025. And after a long morning of traveling and permit getting and snowshoeing, we've arrived at the grove of trees we imagine ourselves camping in for the next couple of nights. Here in the snowiest place in the world, Paradise Park, Mount Rainier National Park. The decision-making process right at this moment is where to make the tent platform. You see how there's no snow in any of these bows and it's sheltered in here? This is the kind of environment we're looking for. We're just deciding where exactly to start digging the tent platform. And in no time, a very good snow shelter. It's minuscule, the amount of snowflakes we're getting in here with these beautiful trees over the top of us compared to outside of them. Paradise is definitely one place that Sarah and I have been to a lot. It's pretty much world famous here at Mount Rainier National Park. But I have to say, this is the first time we've ever done a camp like this before in these types of conditions. This is our spring break trip right here. We have a permit for 2 nights, 3 days up here. Today was supposed to be mostly sunny with a few showers, but it's been snowing 100% of the time in reality since we've been here. The sun is there though. It seems like it's going to break through the clouds, but I just observed the wind just seems to be picking up a little bit more, and my hands, my fingertips are getting kind of numb setting up camp. So I'm glad I got these mittens on and warming them up nicely. We could have done several things for this spring break. We were tossing around some different options. Could have gone to Eastern Washington, but there's going to be 30-mile-per-hour winds over there. We didn't really feel like that. The last 3 spring breaks, we've gone to the Olympic coast. Seems like it's time to give that one a break for a bit. And it just seemed like we had the most to gain by coming here and doing a winter camp. The struggle to stay dry and to stay warm is on. When we were coming up here today, a lady asked us, how do we stay warm up here? And I've been pondering that question just as we've been getting everything ready to go. A part of that is staying dry. One of the first things I did that we got this camp up is I changed my base layers that were kind of damp. This right here is actually very soaked with sweat and it was keeping me cold. So I took it off and I put on dry long underwear, a micro fleece wool sweater on top of that, and I got my rain jacket here, put my mittens on. I switched out my hat to this nice thick wool hat, and I'm doing really good right now. The more you can keep yourself out of the wind and dry and out of the precipitation, you're also going to stay dry that way as well. And the next and best way that we're going to stay dry and warm, especially warm, is with hot food. If we had a third person, man, it'd be good because they could be the cook. And all the hot water could have been going already. But that's the next chore, is to get this stove going and to start melting snow. We have 2 full canisters of fuel. We may use that much just because that's how we have to get our liquid waters. It has to be melted and it has to be boiled. So I'm going to put the kitchen's going to be right here for now. And in no time, we'll have hot drinks and hot food right here in the comforts of our tent. It just will not stop coming down outside right now. But we are not feeling the full brunt of it. Just finished some hot soup. Now I'm going to make some hot cocoa. And Sarah is not cold at all, she says. She's in her grub bag. Well, the good thing about being purposefully tent bound, it's part of the reason why we came up here and did this, is we can spend time in our down bags. Just got done with probably about a 2-hour midday nap. And it is very comfortable behind the walls of this nylon tent. Well, here we are in the evening, and there is not much to report other than we are comfortable, we're dry, we're warm, and we are joyous. Very happy to be here, settling into the very soft, quiet, gathering dark of twilight. No views today. We did come up here inspired by the Mount Rainier recreational forecast that they post online, and it did say it was supposed to be partly sunny today with a slight chance of showers. It didn't stop snowing at all until we got out of the tent after our nap. So it's not really snowing at the moment, but the temperature has definitely dropped. There's frozen water droplets on the tent, and the stove is actually struggling to boil the water quickly because the gas gets cold and I think it just condenses. And so we're taking turns keeping our hands around the can, warming it up. We just got done boiling water for dinner, just letting those cook a little bit longer. Now we're boiling more water to put into our Nalgene bottles, and we'll slide that into our down bags at night, and that'll keep us extra warm and toasty when we crawl in and zip them up for the evening. We have objectives for the trip, but we're kind of just waiting to see what the weather does, and we're going to play it by ear. I have no problem laying in this tent a little bit longer tomorrow. It's probably going to be very cold when we get up, but I'm pretty anxious to see what it looks like when this breaks off. You know, it's one thing I love about Mount Rainier is, you know, you can feel its presence right there. You just can't see any of it right now because it's pea soup. We did hear one tremendous avalanche that was just terrifying to listen to today out of the gloom. So I guess we're very glad we're not any higher than what we are out of the safety of the trees. It is really quiet up here, which is what I really like. At 10 o'clock this morning, when we walked into the Wick down in Longmire, we were the first and only ones to have pulled a permit today to camp up here. And I don't hear any voices anywhere else. So it is a possibility that we are the only ones up here right now. They close the gate in the evening so people can't just drive up here. And then they reopen it again about 9 o'clock in the morning. So it is nice to have a moment, an evening of solitude here in Paradise Park. Good night, everybody. Good morning. Sarah said, reading off of her phone, it's about 20 degrees out right now. And it snowed all night and well into the morning. It's probably about 8 o'clock right now. And it just subsided just a little bit, but who knows if it's going to pick back up again. And here is a quick look around camp on the second morning. Not much to see besides gray atmosphere. Very, very fine, small snow pellets. Very loose. I just got done cleaning up around the tent and opening back up the ventilation. So we should be good to go for another couple of hours. We are really hoping that it clears off today and gives us a chance. It is very cold out. Hands are numb. Woohoo! It is starting to clear up. This is the most we've seen of Paradise Park out of the whole trip. It is still pretty cold, but it really helps to get up and move around. So that's what Sarah and I have been doing. Sometimes the best option is just to get up and move a little bit. I'm telling you, taking the boots back off and relacing, putting them back on, really helped with the cold feet. And we got the snowshoes on, and we're just going for a little recon around just to look at the conditions from overnight. And easily 4 to 5 inches of snow fell. Very fine powder. And the snowshoes are trudging through them perfectly. And Sarah just pointed out that our trail from yesterday is completely lost. And pretty much from this point forward in Paradise Park, in conditions like this, you don't want to go any further up without expert knowledge of the terrain and good navigation skills and technology. Leaving the line of trees is incredibly deadly in these conditions. All right, we have made it back to camp for about a 3-hour snowshoe. It is still snowing. It has not stopped. And right now we're just trying to stay busy and occupied and moving. So Sarah is adding more onto the wall. Not quite ready to crawl in the tent yet. So we have some options of what we can do this afternoon. I have to admit, it's been not the best weather for camping up here, but I am learning a lot about myself and about our equipment and our skills doing a snow camp like this. When we got up to camp again after our snowshoe around in the pea soup, you know, it got a little bit worse. The wind picked up, it was blowing snow, blowing shards of ice off of these evergreen boughs. And then before you know it, it stopped. And this right here is probably why it's one of my favorite places in the world that I've been to, and why it's loved by so many people. You know, when you get here, sometimes you just can't see anything at all. It's complete fog and cloud. And then slowly, if you hang out for just a little bit, the unveiling begins. And it starts to show you all the majesty of this place. And right now, clouds are starting to break. We're getting lots of epic views of these snow-capped peaks. And there's still fresh snow blowing and swirling all around us. I'm hoping this is the beginning of what is supposed to become a glorious and beautiful day tomorrow. And you can see over here, starting to get some sunbeams. And those may work our way over here as the clouds open above us. lifesaver. Hot liquids, hot food in cold conditions. Gotta have plenty of fuel. This one here is just about cached. We've been shaking the fuel canister or holding onto it with our mittens as it's running to keep the flame hot and big. But we have a nice fresh one to tap into here for our dinner and for boiling the rest of the water we're going to need. The conditions have changed towards the more favorable, for sure. We're starting to experience more and more longer sun breaks, more direct light, but the wind is still pretty biting. There's a pretty good wind chill. Exposed fingertips in the wind become numb and cold very quickly, so you definitely have to keep them covered, keep them warm. Winter is not over with yet up here. The day is winding on and we are approaching the evening festivities. And Sarah and I have a new idea of how to keep ourselves occupied going into the late afternoon today. One of us is going to start the chore of melting snow and boiling it for cooking. And the other one is going to go hide the avalanche beacon. Have to admit, not too much in the field avalanche training for Sarah and I. Our training has amounted to one seminar over 10 years ago. We took it through REI, but it was very informational and it did help a lot. We've read quite a bit of literature, and we've always just been very cautious about reading the terrain going into snowy conditions, and also utilizing the NWAC website and looking at the avalanche forecasts and keeping up on that. But we do have these wonderful tools. We've never really used them before, so I'm going to turn mine on here, just like to the TR, right, Sarah?
Sure.
Okay. And then I'm going to go hide it somewhere, and when I come back, it'll be Sarah's job to go find it with her transceiver. And then we'll get some practice using them, at least in that sense. Here we go. All right, I have hidden my avalanche beacon. And now, Sarah, what do you got to do with yours?
Just going to search.
What's your strategy?
I'm gonna walk along, see if I
don't even know what it does.
Oh, well, you'll see. It gives you arrows.
All right. Good luck. I'm going to boil her some water. Just got to keep feeding ice chunks in there. It all melts down. Difference a full canister of fuel makes. How'd you find it?
Well, I had to have a little help. Our neighbors apparently had their transponders on, so I walked right past it. But when they turned theirs off and he gave me a little bit of direction, I was able to just go right to it.
How did How does it work when you're, like, what do you look for on the transceiver when you're...
So it kind of beeps at you, and the higher pitch the beep, the closer you are. It'll give you arrows. I found that they're not super helpful until you get really, really close.
Okay. So does it beep when you point it at the other one, or when you're in the general area?
General area, and it'll point to the general area, but I'm gonna be real honest, it pointed away from where you had it for a second, and so then I turned back, and it's like, nope, it's this way. Okay, so as you get closer and closer, you want to go slower and slower.
I think it's telling me I'm getting close. Somewhere up here in this direction. It took me a sec to figure it out, but I did find it. It's right there. I zoned in on the spot pretty quickly, and I was doing circles in here like a madman, trying to figure out exactly where it was. But if I would have had my wand with me, I would have been wanding. Good training. Gotta practice this stuff. Everything is pretty much done for the day, and it's all about viewing and relaxing right now. Something that's really special about tonight is it is going to be a full moon, and it was really bright last night, even with the snowstorm that was going on. I couldn't tell the difference when I woke up this morning between daylight and the moonlight that was last night, and so I can only imagine what it's going to be like when all these clouds burn off tonight and that full moon is shining on all this fresh snow. We are going to be heading off to bed here in just a few minutes. Sarah's already tucked away in her sleeping bag. I'm just going to boil my Nalgene of boiling water to put in my sleeping bag. You know, I might stay up a little bit longer and look at the light show, but I'm going to be heading off to bed here pretty soon as well. We have a wake-up call about 4 in the morning. It's going to take us a while to get going. I imagine everything's going to be frozen overnight. We do plan on making a really early get up and climb up to Camp Muir first thing in the morning. We're keeping the fingers crossed that we're going to wake up to glorious sunshine and crystal clear blue skies tomorrow morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning to a bone-chilling 23 degrees. We've been up since 4, and now we're ready to head up to Camp Muir. The moonlight is absolutely stunning. We're making very good time this morning. It is very frozen. I should probably put the crampons on. The snow is perfect styrofoam conditions. I think I'm just going to leave on my snowshoes because Camp Muir is like right there. This is the home stretch. We're within a half mile of the camp. We're right around 9,500 feet, about level with Anvil Rocks. Sarah's probably about 100 meters down below me, and we're both making pretty good time. In good time, we have made it to Camp Muir. It is good and frozen up here. It's a nice layer of ice, styrofoam snow, and it always feels good to accept and take on the physical challenge to come up here. I've been up here so many times, I think I've lost track of the exact number, but it's never easy coming up here. And the first time of the season is always the hardest, but it feels good to get it under the belt. I can see way down in the parking lot at Paradise that it's filling up with cars, so I'm guessing it's probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock a.m. and it felt really good to be the ones who broke track through the snow all the way up here. Amazing views, an amazing hike and ascent up here, ranging between calm and windy at times, but cold pretty much the entire time up. How hard did we work to get up here, Sarah?
Pretty hard. Need to get faster though. Pretty hard. Woof. 261 minutes with my heart rate above 150. Roughly. And only 8,444 steps. I'm trying to find my calories. Oh, there they are. Not even 2,000 yet.
As she puts more Triscuits in her mouth.
I earned them.
The view from Camp Muir is probably one of the best you can have in the Southern Cascades. You got all this splayed out below you, and I'm talking about way down below you. And I love how we're catching it full of fresh snow that fell over the last couple of days. And just like that, our time at Camp Muir is over for this round. And it only takes half the time to go down. So we should be back at camp, rolling it all up in no time at all. It is about 12:30 p.m. We have arrived back at our camp. And all that solar energy right now is breaking the ice. It's all thawing and dripping and falling out of these boughs of the trees.